Hello everyone! I was sent a TourBox device by the TourBox company to try it out and share my opinion with you. So I did just that, and in this video I'll share with you my thoughts on it. You might ask, what's this device exactly about? So TourBox is like an additional input device or a controller that you can connect to your PC and use it for shortcuts instead of using what you normally use, which is most likely your keyboard or maybe your tablet's express keys. So TourBox is a little device that comes with all these buttons and scrollers, and you can set a shortcut for a function for each of them, and you can also use combinations, so that gives you a total of 47 shortcuts to set through the TourBox device. So I'll first tell you about my usage experience, and then I'll let you know about the pros and cons in my own personal opinion. By the way, I tried TourBox while working on chapter 10 of my webtoon. So, my experience. Not gonna lie, when I first saw the device, I thought it has way too many buttons and there's no way for my brain to take all that in at once. So I kind of freaked out on like, how am I gonna get used to this? So that's why I decided to take it step by step. I started working on my artworks normally like I usually do, and whenever I felt the need to press a keyboard shortcut, I immediately went and set that shortcut on one TourBox key. So I did it one key at a time, and that's what made it easier for me to get used to it. But to be honest, so far I've only used it for around a week's time, and even though now I got used to it, I didn't actually set all the shortcuts, so I did set a shortcut for each key, but I haven't utilized all the possible combinations because I thought it's okay, I'm gonna take my time on this. Since I've put the most important functions in there, I can just work on my artworks without feeling interrupted because I've covered my basic needs. What I've loved the most among these keys is actually the scrollers, especially the one I set for changing the brush size. You guys, I'm such a lazy artist when it comes to changing the brush size. Even though I have shortcuts for them on my keyboard, sometimes I'm just like, nope, I just don't want to do that. And I keep sometimes drawing in the same brush size even though I need to change it. But this scroller made it so much easier to control. Like I can easily change my brush size, especially when doing the line art, because sometimes you need thick lines and other times you need thin lines, so it's a much smoother experience using this scroller. You know, I even put a shortcut for Ctrl+S or saving the canvas because I found myself, as I was looking for shortcuts, Ctrl+S is like one of my most used shortcuts aside from the Ctrl+Z, because I have this panic from losing my work progress and I continuously save my document like every 2 or 3 minutes. So I added that shortcut to my TourBox as well. Okay, so in terms of pros, I'll declassify my experience that I've told you about so far among the pros, but additionally, I want to highlight certain points which I really liked as well. So the size of the device is very nice. I would say like your whole palm fits through it and it's easy to navigate through the keys. And also the device comes with a USB-C connection, and I'm really fond of that because that means it's very easy to replace the cable in case something goes wrong and you can find a USB-C cable anywhere. So that's in terms of the hardware. And in terms of the software, the driver was very easy to install, super straightforward. And the nice thing is that if you use multiple softwares, you can set customized shortcuts for each software, and you can turn on the auto switch feature, which will automatically switch your shortcuts to whatever software you have on. And what's nice is that you can save these presets for all the shortcuts that you've set and keep that file for yourself. So in case you move to another device, you can simply just transfer this file and use the same shortcuts. And speaking of presets, their website comes with presets for different softwares, so if you don't feel like setting your own shortcuts, you can always head there and download a preset made by someone else and just use it. But personally, I found that setting my own shortcuts is better because each artist have their own set of tools and their own needs. So I would say it's better to set your own shortcuts yourself. Unless you're completely new to shortcuts, then it would be easier to slip into any preset available. Another thing I liked is that when you set a shortcut and give it a tag or a description, it actually gets saved in a list so that if you want to swap shortcuts later, you don't have to do everything from scratch. You can just click on the shortcut and it gets immediately replaced. As for the cons, there aren't many because my overall experience was positive, but to be clear with you, I still would like to highlight what I've faced and didn't really like. I found that my device disconnects sometimes. Especially I think after hibernating my PC. So when I turn it back on, sometimes it's disconnected, so I need to unplug it and plug it back again so that it works. In terms of the hardware, personally I'm not very fond of the position of the third scroller, so I like how the top two scrollers are almost next to each other and it's easy to navigate between them, but the third scroller is on the bottom, so I have to move my hand and it's not as smooth as switching between the top two. I think I would have preferred it if all scrollers were on the top so that they're easier to reach with the fingertips, but that's my personal opinion. And the last con, which is not really a con, but is something that I've heard about before getting the device myself, and I actually saw it myself, and that's the finishing material of the device. It is a matte finishing, but it really collects fingerprints, so if you'd like to keep your things always sparkly and neat, you would have to continuously clean this after every use, because your fingerprints immediately leave a trace. But for me, I haven't done proper cleaning for it yet because the lighting in my workroom is not that strong, and from my angle I can't see those fingerprints, so I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just clean it every now and then. But yeah, I wanted to mention this point, and I don't know, but my personal guess is that they would most likely change this material in the future, because almost every artist I've seen their review about TourBox has mentioned this point, so probably, like, they're a hard-working team and they're continuously working on improving their products, so I expect to see more changes and improvements in the future. And speaking of future, they now have pre-orders for their next generation controller, and that device seems to have improved functionalities, but most importantly it comes with a Bluetooth feature, and that's great because it makes it a wireless device, and I think we would all appreciate a wireless device, so that's a nice thing to know about, because they are indeed working on improving their products even more. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this goes in the future. As for the price of TourBox, so TourBox is normally priced at $179, but now they have a special offer. They have a 15% discount, and they're offering a storage case for free. So you can get both for $152, and if you use my discount code Pluvius, you can get an extra $10 off, so that makes it $142 for both TourBox and the storage case. And they offer free global shipping, so if you're interested, that's a good time to try it out. You can get it from the link in my description box. I lastly want to speak about something, because this question might be popping up in your head. Do you actually need TourBox? I would say that totally depends on your workflow. In my personal opinion, I've used it so far with my screenless tablet, and my keyboard is still there right next to it, so sometimes I found my hand slipping back onto my keyboard, but I forced myself to go back to TourBox every time that happened, and indeed after doing that I got used to it, and I could feel my process was faster than usual. But still, I think my old habits do come back, and I would tend to go back to my keyboard. However, with a screen tablet, actually I find TourBox very handy, because if you've seen my reviews on display tablets, I always complained that the express keys were not enough and it's very hard to reach the keyboard, so that was one of the main downside points that made me avoid screen tablets for a long time. However, with TourBox, it's very super easy to just have it right next to your tablet and easily use all those shortcuts instead of, sitting in an uncomfortable position trying to reach your keyboard. So personally, I really find it as a big plus with a screen tablet. That's all about my experience so far of TourBox. I look forward to use it more often in the future and get more used to it. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching. This video was brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of inspiring classes in the creative fields of illustration, design, animation, and much more. It even has classes on useful life and work skills like freelancing, productivity, and lifestyle. In a nutshell, Skillshare offers so much of what you'd seek to feed your curious minds. And the interesting thing about it is that you can get access to all those classes at once when you join. If you don't know yet, I'm also an instructor on Skillshare. I recently launched a new course for beginners that will help you learn digital coloring from scratch, starting from the very basic concepts of digital drawing through learning how to create a complete character artwork with a detailed explanation of sketching, line art, coloring and shading the skin, eyes, hair, and clothes, and then finalizing your artwork with color adjustments and background. And my anime drawing for beginners class is also there, which can teach you how to start drawing characters from scratch. The great news is that you can try my classes and every other one for free now, because the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box will get a free 1-month trial of Skillshare Premium membership. Head to the link in the description box to join the community, explore, and enjoy learning.